Why should any American care about what's happened in Finland? After all, it's a long way away. Nordic country up there where it's cold. Why should we care what's happened there?
Well, I think we need to care about what's happened in a lot of places that have turned their education systems around in the last 30 or 40 years. We used to be #1 in the 1970s, hands down, the U.S. education system. And we've been sort of peddling in place while other nations have been putting together a 21st century system. So we need to understand what Finland, Singapore, Korea, and some other countries have done. Each of those countries is about the size of a state in the U.S. Singapore is about the size of Kentucky. Finland is about the size of Minnesota in terms of the population. And states are where the action is in American education. So we can learn some things about how to create a system that works.
Are you surprised that Finland has been able to turn it around fairly dramatically in just 40 years? Singapore's turned it around in 35, 40 years. Are you surprised as a professional educator that that's true?
Well, I think it is surprising to many of us. These are places that 40 years ago, in many cases, had very few people educated, had a non-system. So it does wake you up. It makes you say, well, what's going on over there?
And that person who might be watching and listening says, well, this is all mildly interesting, but these are smaller countries. We in the United States of America have a big continental, two-ocean country, a rich mix of religion, race, ethnicity. What happens in Finland, Singapore, South Korea may apply there, but it's pretty hard to apply it here. You would say what?
I would say two things. Number one, there are also some very large high-achieving nations like Canada and Australia that have systems like ours with many states and many provinces. They figured it out too. I'd say that all of those places are doing very similar things. And, you know, we need to be studying and learning from those who are having success. And third, I would say it's a global world. And we are in global competition. There is nobody who's going to succeed in the United States of America if they don't understand that they're not competing with the kid down the hall or around the corner, but with somebody who's right now going to school in any one of these countries around the world.
And if we, the people of the United States, do not do something, and do something fairly quickly, what are the consequences for us?
Well, if we don't create a higher quality system for all kids, we do well with some kids, but we have great inequality. We're going to continue to become, as the New York Times said some months ago, a prison nation. We've got 1 in 100 people incarcerated. We can't afford our healthcare system. We can't afford our Social Security system unless every single person in this country is prepared to get a good job in the knowledge economy that we're in today. Education is not a private good, it's a public good. What that means is that we all benefit and we all hurt, depending on the quality of education other people's kids get. What happens as a result? Well, we're building now a school-to-prison pipeline. We've quadrupled the number of young people in prison. We are spending 900% more on corrections than we were 30 years ago, while our public school dollars have gone up much less. What that means is that you as a taxpayer are paying in California almost $50,000 a year on inmates that you wouldn't spend $10,000 a year to get educated so that they would be able to get a good job. Most inmates are high school dropouts, and most are functionally illiterate. So it's really an education problem, and I don't want to be paying taxes for, you know, the results of a kid not having gotten a great teacher to teach him to read in 3rd grade.
If you've got it, watch it. If you don't, call your TV provider to get HDNet today.